The EV market in the US has shrunken by quite a bit over the past few quarters due to the end of the federal tax credits, the rollback of the fuel economy norms. But there have been some exceptions to this slowdown. EVs made by Toyota especially have been doing pretty well this year. The BZ was the best-selling non-Tesla in the first quarter of this year. And this car right here also did pretty well. This is the Lexus RZ, and its sales were up by 200% in the first quarter of this year. I'm Suvrat Kothari. Welcome to Inside EVs. Let's talk about the 2026 Lexus RZ, which has a bunch of quirky features up its sleeve. So the RZ 550e has simulated manual gear shifts similar to the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. Electric cars don't really need manual gear shifts, but old habits die hard, so automakers are trying to mimic that performance of petrol cars into some high-end models. I'm going to show you how that works, but before that, let's just quickly go around and take a tour of the design of the RZ 550e. So this looks similar to the previous model years. You have the signature Lexus grille up front, you have a bunch of blacked out elements. There are also some fake aero bits which look cool, but they don't do anything. This one has 20-inch rims. They seem optimized for aero. You have a pretty aggressive looking spoiler on the 550e, which is not present on other trims. There's a nice aero panel right here. So it has a pretty sizable boot. I think 2 large suitcases will easily fit inside. So the RZ 550e, which is sold overseas, gets a yoke style steering with steer by wire. The US market version gets a regular steering wheel, but I don't have any complaints with it. It's a really nice steering wheel with a nice feel to it, and it really grips your palm perfectly. It gets these paddle shifters which double up as your regen controls and also as your manual gear shifts. Other than that, this cabin is pretty well appointed. It has high quality materials, high quality stitching everywhere. You get really nice ambient lighting at night. I love the feel of this gear selector. It's really high quality and premium. There's not a lot of physical buttons here. Climate settings are integrated into this 14-inch touchscreen. Speaking of which, I'm not a big fan of this. Yes, it gets wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which work perfectly well, but the screen is a little laggy. Lexus should improve that in the next update. You also have this digital gauge cluster, which also feels kind of old. Yes, it shows you all the important information, including the battery percentage, the range, your miles per kilowatt hour, but just the way the information is laid out here, it's very cluttered. It's not easy to read. So that's another area for improvement. You also get a digital rear view mirror, which I am a big fan of. It gives you a nice and wide field of view when you're driving. The seats, which are specific to the 550e, these are bucket seats with integrated headrests. They also have a nice suede texture, and they really hold you in place when you're trying to go fast around corners. The rear seat space on the RZ is really good. So this is set to my driving position, the front driver's seat. I still have about 2 fist lengths of leg room. Even taller passengers will be comfortable here. I'm about 5'7", and you get all the standard amenities back here. So you have air vents, you have heated rear seats, you have USB Type-C charging port. You also have a 120 volt socket, so you can plug some accessories in there. You can plug in your laptop. You also have a nice glass roof. There's a structural element right here which kind of separates it into 2 halves, but it still looks pretty nice. And there's ample headroom as well, so I think you're going to be very comfortable in the back seat of the Lexus RZ. So the 2026 RZ mainly comes in 3 trim lines: 350e, 450e, and the 550e, which I have right here. They all get bigger batteries, faster charging speeds, and also the Tesla style NACS charging port right from the factory. So the 350e and the 450e get about 75 kilowatt hours of battery capacity with up to 301 miles of range. This car right here, the 550e, gets a slightly bigger 77 kilowatt hour pack, but it's only good for about 229 miles of range, which is not really great in an era when 300 miles of range is becoming very common. So the Lexus RZ 550e, it's a really fun car to drive. It doesn't have a great range, but this powertrain is pretty phenomenal. So you have more than 400 horsepower, you have 0 to 60 it can do in just over 4 seconds. And you also have all-wheel drive, so it can do 60-40 front to rear power split. It can also send all the power just to the rear axle. And the biggest trick up its sleeve is definitely the manual transmission. So the way you turn that on is you press the M mode, and that turns on the simulated manual gear shifts, and then you control them through the paddle shifters. On the screen right here, you can also choose how loud you want it to sound. So it has something called active sound control, and you have low, medium and high, and I've turned it on to high. Let's hope the mic picks this up. So let's take this out for a quick spin. M mode is active. You can already hear this mild grunt. Accelerating. It really feels like a sports car when you do that. The gear shifts are quick. First gear will take you to about 30 miles an hour, second gear is programmed for 48, and third gear is 60, and so on. I'm not going to go faster than that because that would be illegal. But it does sound pretty cool. When you come to a standstill, it automatically goes into the first gear, and then you accelerate. There you go. It hits the rev limiter. And then when you shift, it has jerks. Very similar to the manual transmissions you get out there. There's also been a lot of thought that has gone into calibrating this whole system. So it's not just the shifts and the sound, which sound like a combustion engine, but also the power delivery. So when you're into a higher gear at lower speeds, you don't get as much torque. You get all the torque at the bottom end when you're in the first or second gears. So that's kind of neat. I just wished it sounded more like a gas engine. The whole reason people love manual transmissions is the oral thrill that comes from how natural the internal combustion engine sounds. That's not the case here. This sounds pretty inauthentic, and you have these speakers which are blasting artificial sounds directly into your ear, so it's not getting filtered out by the cabin. So there's definitely some fine-tuning that can be done to this powertrain, to this whole manual transmission thing. But other than that, I love how the RZ 550e drives. It weighs 5,000 pounds, but it doesn't feel like it. It's actually a pretty phenomenal car to drive. It loves going around corners. It has really tight body control. The suspension is stiffly sprung, so at slow speeds you do get the jolts in the cabin, but when you're at higher speeds, it really irons out everything really well. Usually what happens with crossovers, electric crossovers especially, is they have big batteries under the floor, and that kind of messes up the ride and handling. But not on this car. This one has phenomenal handling. So this is the 550e F Sport, so not all trims get the sport tuned chassis. This one does, and I love how well calibrated the suspension is. I've had this car for about a week, and initially the sound was kind of fascinating to me, but then I realized that it doesn't sound like a combustion engine car, it doesn't sound like an EV, it sounds like a mix of both. So it has this high-pitched whine, which I'm not a big fan of, and when you lift off the throttle, it sounds like a 4-cylinder engine. So Lexus has to pick one, either make it sound like a proper gas car or make it sound like an EV. Right now it's in the middle, which I'm not a big fan of. But other than that, this is pretty fun. I was also able to charge the Lexus RZ 550e at this Tesla supercharger, which is very, very crowded. I'm in South Brooklyn and all these are rideshare drivers. So getting the charging started was an absolute pain. Tesla superchargers are usually super reliable, but this time around it took me 3 tries to get the charging started. Once it started, it ramped up very fast. So the Lexus RZ series has about 150 kilowatts of max charging speeds, and these are 325 kilowatt Tesla superchargers, but it's absolutely packed. As you can see, every single stall, there are about 20 stalls here, there are 20 more on that side of the parking lot, and I was not expecting it to charge at full speeds, but it did. In fact, it went 10 kilowatts above the claimed peak charging speeds. It charged at about 160 kilowatts, which was very impressive. It's showing me right now about 30 minutes to get from 18 to 80% state of charge, which is not bad at all. It's also holding a very nice charging curve. So it started off at about 160 kilowatts and then it held that speed up until 35% state of charge and is gradually tapering down. So that's way better than what the previous model Air RZ was able to do, which was similar to the BZ4X. But it's just that the initiation process was a little clunky because I tried multiple stalls. This was the second stall, and at the second stall it took me 3 tries to get the charging session initiated. So I just hope that becomes better in the future. So that's the Lexus RZ for you. This one right here costs about $60,000 because this is the 550e, but you also get cheaper, longer range variants, which are the 350e and the 450e. And honestly, those are the ones I'd recommend. They are way more practical on a day-to-day basis. But if you don't care about range and if you want to have fun, maybe this is something that you should consider. Thanks for watching. That's all from me today. Do not forget to subscribe to the Inside EVs YouTube channel for all the latest updates from the world of electric cars.